Hey guys, so I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to do the S-hook molds, how to work with them. That's these little hooks for a mask. Alright, so these really come in handy. Instead of having to put the mask on behind your ears, right, you just put it on the hook like that and this goes behind your head and you're good to go. This is also really good for kids. I use this with my toddler, she's 4. The masks tend to be really big on her, so this helps a lot. And it's more comfortable behind the head, so she's not tugging on it. So what you're gonna need is your epoxy with some glitter or dye or something mixed into it, right? So I already have mine mixed and ready to go. I use a torch and then a little blade. All right, so I'm gonna get started. Okay, so you see I already started pouring, so let me tie up my hair. You don't want to have your hair down getting into your epoxy because that will be a nightmare. Okay, so you want to keep your elbows off the counter. Okay, you don't want to lean into it because then it's going to restrict your movement. All right, so keep elbows off the counter. Mix this up some more. Okay, and then pour slowly because this has a mind of its own, right? You're trying to keep it within the little divots of the mold. If it does pour out, we can go back and clean it up afterwards, or when you're done, if you see that it's too low, again, you can just go add some more in there. Again, this does not have to be with glitter. You can use alcohol inks or dye or anything else that you want to put in here, or you could just leave it clear. The guys, most of my men clients have just bought clear ones if it's for them, or businesses. All right, businesses tend to either want just a plain clear hook or a dye that'll match the company logo or something like that. So these are something that's pretty easy to do. You can make these, one night. Get this up in your Etsy shop if you have one. It's a simple add to your shop. So this glitter I have in here now, I'm using Kawaii's from Backfist Customs. It's a really fun mix of glitter. It has all kinds of colors, little moons, stars, hearts, all kinds of little shapes. This would be a fun one for the kids. And you can kind of help it move around. This is a pretty thick, chunky glitter. So when I'm done pouring, I'll have to go back over and kind of nudge it to fall into place. So I'm using here a 2-ounce cup, which is about perfect for the amount of epoxy you'll need to do 10 hooks. so that's done. So like I said, now we can go back over it, kind of clean up anything that came out. This all looks pretty clean. And I usually kind of like squat down to look at it from below. This way you can really see where the epoxy dripped. And if any of them are too low, you can add some more. Like this one could use some more. If when you squat down, you see them kind of dipping down into the epoxy, into the mold, you'll probably want to add some more. All right, it should have like a nice little, a small kind of bump to it. So I got this mold from Bruce at Backfist. I know that he's out of stock right now, but he may be bringing them back. Okay, so that's that. The next thing I do is usually I'll just let it sit for a few minutes so that it has a chance for any little bubbles that are caught in the epoxy will come to the surface. And then once that's done, I'll go over it with my torch. So I'm gonna let this settle for a minute and then we'll do that. As far as the blade is concerned, I use this after I demold. So you can see here I have a whole batch here that I finished. I demolded right before the video, right? So these are good to go. Usually I'll use the blade, like I'll look at them, see if you see like any little straggling pieces of epoxy. Like this one, you can see like that little corner that's sticking out, right, like that right there. So anything like that, you can just go over it with your blade once they're fully cured. And if you do it when they're not really ready, it won't work. So this I just like at an angle very carefully, kind of go over it, right, just like that. And then any little pieces will just come right off. See, it's another one that has that little piece right there. See, it's gone. So just very, very carefully you can do that. We don't want you cutting yourself, so cautious. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and torch this. So you don't have to do this step. I choose to do it because those little bubbles that kind of come to the surface when I do molds drive me crazy. But keep in mind that you have to do this very fast and brief. Otherwise, you can risk melting your mold, and then it'll melt into the epoxy. So when you go to demold it, it's stuck and you will damage your mold. So this is fast, and that's it. Just one time. All right, so we're gonna turn this on. See, that's it. It's that fast. I find like a personal satisfaction in doing it when I see all those little bubbles and you go over and you see them just kind of like vanish. I find it's like one of those videos that you watch for hours. Okay, so again, this is the one I use. This is Kawaii. You can see like all the little shapes in there. How cute, little clouds. It's just a very fun color. This one here, if you like this one, this is Madagascar, also in Bruce's Backfist Customs website. How pretty that is. Come back up. So that's pretty much it. Then I will let these sit overnight, at least about 24 hours. And then when they're done, I'll take them out so I can make a new batch. But like these I just took out this morning, you can see how soft it is. Usually I let them sit on a flat surface for 48 hours, sometimes a little bit more, depending on the kind of epoxy that you're using. So just before you send these out to customers or give them out to anyone, make sure that they're firm, because if not, if it goes in the heat too soon, then they probably won't cure properly. Like these, like this has a hint of flexibility, but not really, right? Like that's not going anywhere. So that's how it should be before you start using them, because you can warp it if you use them too soon. And I guess that's it. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop it below and I'll reach out as soon as I can.